She just brings that light that I can't bring.
He kind of makes me more logical and more motivated. You're listening to Opposites Attract with J&T. Stay tuned for...
What color was your Ferrari? Me and my mansion and my millions. Oh, my kids are going to hate me.
Welcome back to the podcast, you guys. Opposites Attract with J&T.
I'm James.
And I'm Taylor.
And I'm hoping you're having a really great day on whatever day you're watching this. Mm-hmm. In today's episode, by the way, I apologize. We don't have a sponsor for this video, so it's more of like a voluntary kind of thing. Just for Taylor and I, and that's why you will see us, rather than me looking at you guys, I'm going to be focused at her.
You know, I'm just too beautiful to look
She's
away
the love
from.
of my life.
So,
anyway, we just like we talked about last episode, we wanted to talk about how our economic differences affected us, and in hindsight, what was really what we wanted at the end.
Yeah.
So,
like in childhood.
Yeah. I'm going to give you my background. I don't know if I really talked about it much.
Can we pause and talk about how we had to delete that episode real quick?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a little announcement. So, my awesome family gets very offended easily.
No, that's not it. We last week, we uploaded an episode about divorce, and I don't know if some of you guys might have heard it already, but if you didn't, we uploaded one about divorce, and there were some words and things that we said in there that didn't sit well with some of the family, as well as we realized that it probably could have been held back in a certain way. So we decided to delete the episode. So now today's episode is episode 19. But we just wanted to know, we want to let you guys know that.
Oh, yeah, what happened?
Yeah, we just wanted to let you know what happened and that we're going to be encouraging and we don't want to be a gossip kind of
right. And that's why we deleted it.
Because, you know, talking about other people is hard, especially potentially thousands of people one day. So, you know, be kind. I guess.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
One day, guys, we'll get there.
Anyway, thank you for reminding to do that. Mm-hmm. You want to start with your background?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Do you or do you not? Huh?
I do. Okay, I want to start. You just threw me a curveball, and I have to prepare myself for this journey.
Yeah, me too. 1 second.
We got it. Today we're sponsored by water bottles, actually. Taking over.
She's like, don't do that, James. And that's not going to be funny.
What? I never have ever said that. Who said that? Who said that? You. Roast. Anyways. Okay, my background. I talked to you about this before, but I guess I'll just start from the beginning. I grew up as a kid and my family was together, obviously, like every family is at first. And I pretty much had everything I ever wanted as a child, as like far as toys goes. And,
what were the phases like, babe? Come on. This is like the worst story I've ever heard.
Well, I'm getting there. Can you give me a sec, please? My goodness, somebody is impatient today. Anyways, when I was when you're a toddler, what do you like, you know? Baby toys that like rattle and make noises, and I got all those, and I don't remember a lot because I was a toddler, but I mean, the things that I remembered the most is I always had I loved Hot Wheels. We had like a crap ton of Hot Wheels. Like
you liked Hot Wheels and you're still a female? Oh my God. Wow. And
we loved Legos too. So we had like buckets of Legos, you know, and we had a whole room in our house dedicated to the toy room. Like that was the playroom is what we would call it. Yeah, we had a whole room dedicated to it. And it was huge. And I remember we had like a TV in there with like a DVD player or actually VHS before we had DVD players. Shout out to those who know what I'm talking about. We're gonna get old here pretty soon. Nobody's gonna know, but yeah, the VHS tapes.
So is that a movie or something? It is a horror movie, but that's why I referenced that.
It's gonna be so sad when people forget. But yeah, we had that, and we had we loved Barbies and especially Bratz dolls. So we had like the Barbie dream house, you know, and we also had like baby dolls and like the little kitchens that you would do, like that you'd play with, you know. Maybe you don't know. I don't know.
Well, before you continue, what color was your Ferrari?
Oh my god.
Was it pink?
I had a
Rolls Royce?
you mean my little like
supercar?
the toys, like the toy cars?
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
had
exactly.
drive?
The one with the
We
battery.
had a couple actually. We had a yellow one. We had a Barbie one, which was like my favorite. It was so cute. It was like
Range
a Barbie
Rover?
Jeep. No, it was a Barbie Jeep, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun. We would run around when we lived by a park when we were kids, and so we could walk down from our house like just through our backyard, just walk down, and
Sure.
my gosh, that was a great neighborhood actually. It was I thought a really
All your
sweet
neighbors
neighborhood.
are walking with their
everybody
horses.
was so
and
nice. Like I had a
handing
bunch
out
of friends
$100 bills. Sorry, I'm just trying to like.
trying to get in the vibe
Yeah.
of my neighborhood. But yeah, we grew up in there was a backyard, and we make forts in the forest behind the playground, and then on the playground there was like a sidewalk that we would drive our little cars in. So that we had a Barbie Jeep, we had a yellow, I can't remember, but it was like a yellow something, and then we had a Cadillac, a black Cadillac that was like the best, and it played music when you had like your little iPod connected to it or
you
something.
had an aux.
Yeah, we had an aux cord to our black Cadillac.
And how old were you?
Like 6.
Dang, Taylor,
Or something like that.
Slapping at 6.
And oh yeah, totally slapping at 6. But I remember
Well, you had
we
an aux
loved
cord,
them.
so what else would you be doing with an aux cord?
That's deep. I loved like
What is the opposite of slapping? Being slapped?
no, I was slapping. You know, I mean, as far as early 2000s music goes, that was my jam.
For those elders out there, real quick announcement: slapping is the form of increasing the volume of your music. Continue.
Just to make sure you're not thinking of something else. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, I remember that was like my whole childhood. We would just run around on those cars like through the neighborhood, and we'd have a bunch of sleds in the winter, and we always had everything, you know, like as far as toys goes. And I was super lucky that way. Like I never felt deprived in any way with what I wanted to get. Like always had I had like all the dress up like Disney gowns. Like I don't know if you girls know what I'm talking about, but like
Yeah,
you know, like they had like the
of course I know.
yes, of course you know, babe, but I'm talking to everybody else. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I had Belle, and it was like I had the shoes, you know, and I had Cinderella, and we would change out. Yeah, I had a lot of little like costumes and little things, Barbies, and yeah, I was loaded as a kid, and it was super fun. I mean, as a kid, I love to play with toys. That's why we're making this.
But this story gets dark. We'll see if our conversation gets there.
Yeah, but
All right, I guess it's my turn.
It is your turn.
I'm about to one up you. Hella. Anyway, I think my first memory is, well, we lived in the apartments coming to the United States. Like it was these, I think, government kind of subsidized apartments. So super ghetto, very ghetto. I think before I would go to school, my mom would wake me up, and then we would go find the perpetrator who stole our bike, because that was a daily basis kind of thing. And it was always the same person across the street. Not across the street, but like, you know, like imagine the complexes like in the U. We lived on this side, and they lived on that side.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
A lot of I had a kite one time.
Nice.
We had our bikes. I remember. Okay. Let me just. I kind of want to jump in places because there's like not much in those areas.
Okay.
I mean, like when I was a kid, my there's like probably like 5 toys that I could remember. One including a computer.
You had a computer?
Yeah, my parents did. But then like I did something and I was grounded for what felt like a year. But it was probably a month. Seriously, it felt like a year.
What did you do?
I don't remember. I probably was like talking back. I'm like, Mom, we gotta go Toys R Us and get like messed up. Right? I don't know what it was, but growing up, it was more of me and my imagination. Really, I'd be the one who would leave like spit stains everywhere because I was perpetrating a machine gun constantly.
That's actually really cute.
And I was always this like spy kid, like out in the forest on this deck, just mowing down these like bad spy guys, and I'm just like protecting me and my mansion and my millions. I was
super
so
cute.
young. I remember doing that a lot. I mean, I think what's his name? Yeah, he's my mentor, but I don't even know his name. Chuck Norris. Yeah,
Chuck Norris is your mentor?
I watched Walker, Texas Ranger.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know. It was. We didn't have cable, whatever it was on. I think it was like an older show. But I was gonna say that while you were talking, we had VHS when DVDs were a thing.
Oh, okay.
So we could finally afford VHS
because it got cheaper when DVDs came out.
So the entire childhood was always like 5-10 years behind.
Oh, okay.
But I think the only toys I had was cars. I remember getting this like jet, like a model jet, not a model jet.
Like how big? Like this big?
It's like a tiny little jet. Like you hold it like this, and you kind of use your imagination. It kind of like it has like sound coming. You guys,
yeah.
Oh, fine.
You guys, you.
I can't remember any other toys. I'm sure we had like a blow up air mattress that I pretended that was like a boat.
Aww.
But I laughed. I was laughing when you were talking about when you had your Hot Wheels because I remember I would find toys in the bushes of the apartment because kids would lose their toys, and I would go look for toys to find and bring them back home. And it was really cool one time because I had this little NASCAR car, and I found a really big one, and it was the exact same version. I was like, "This is the daddy, and this is the son." Like I remember that so vividly. I don't know why. Yeah, but didn't get much as a kid. I don't remember. Like Christmas was always my mom going to whatever shelter where they gave like free toys.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember she would get this paintball gun but throw away the paintballs, so it was just like a freaking fake ass gun. I was like, "Thanks, Mom."
Oh, but she tried. That's
it's
so
like
nice.
giving someone a candle without a lighter. It was
like, okay, not the purpose, but it'll do.
Not the best analogy, but I got a helmet for my bike.
That's
Remember
good.
that was like
Safety.
a red helmet. Yeah.
Ooh, my dad was huge on safety. We always had to have like the knee pads, the elbow pads, like everything, and like the gloves.
He's a doctor.
He is a doctor. You're right. He is a doctor, and protection first always. He would tell me horror stories about when I was a kid. When I was a kid, like I just saw a girl fall off her bike and she completely screwed up her face and blah blah blah
babe,
blah.
We are not doing that to our kids because that only instills fear.
I know. I was freaked out. I was like, dude.
All kids want to do is not ride bikes now.
To this day, I don't ride my bike very much.
Yeah, you don't ride bikes, dude. You little bum, huh?
I'm not very good at it. I remember in 8th grade I tried to.
You just sit on and pedal.
And you pedal. I'm still not very good at it.
And you're like, and you pedal. No.
It's too hard.
Not the pedaling.
No, but yeah, he would. We couldn't get close to dogs because they would bite your face off. He saw a lot of stuff in the OR. So
it's like a man coming from Afghanistan and be like, well, I don't really think. Don't hang out around tanks, okay? Don't.
It's like saying don't play guns with, like, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, kids shouldn't play with guns in the first place.
No, not real guns, like fake guns.
No, you should play with fake guns.
I think so too. I had fake guns.
That was my entire.
We had Nerf guns.
Anyway, I had a really well-developed imagination, and it's kind of cool. I think we should just switch to hindsight because I have no idea what else I can talk about with my childhood. I cannot. I don't remember getting toys at all.
That's okay. You developed. I mean, I still had an imagination too. Just
wow.
to clarify,
really, you're bragging that you got toys and an imagination?
No, I just mean like I think that when you have less, you use your imagination more. But it still doesn't mean that I had no imagination. But I think kids nowadays with their toys, which is like an iPad, their imagination kind of goes down like way more.
What is that word used? Like when you're using something else to help you, and it.
I don't. Continue explaining, please.
It's like we don't need calculators anymore. We don't use our heads to count in our head. Oh God.
Sorry.
My lawyer called me. I have this porn actress that's trying to store me something.
Babe, it's too soon.
She's trying to pay. She's a pay up bitch. I apologize. Sorry, babe. Melania. It's really awkward.
can't. I don't know what word you're talking about. Like
oh yeah. On the word.
It was, I don't know, but it like you're substituting. You
kind
don't
of substitute, not compensating.
I forget, but let's move on.
But you know the word I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you use a calculator instead of counting in your head, you
lose your
right. You use like the ability to count in your head as well, right?
Yeah.
Or like memorizing numbers if you have a phone book or if you have contacts list. Same thing with kids. They have a bad. I think they will have a bad imagination.
Yeah,
that's
because
just a
you're
side
not
note.
using it. No, I think that's true because if we like, I still see like kids like in church though that play with their own toys and stuff. So luckily,
Sure.
But to be fair, they don't all have iPads. But then some kids do have like computers
The
or
iPads
and stuff, and I don't know. I think that.
How do you want to do it with kids? Because I want to give my child a phone when he's driving, and that's
like,
it.
I don't know, because I think the time is going to be harder and harder for us to be able to stop that kind of like technology stuff.
What? What are they going to use their phones to get medicine and food?
Well, you were always complaining when you were in middle school that you never had a phone.
Yeah, because my parents made me walk to school, which is like 2 miles.
Okay, fair enough. But that's what I'm saying is like for
and
safety
I would always
reasons,
be stranded
I
at
think it's good to
school
have a
and
phone.
having to call them. I would need something to do while I'm waiting an extra hour at school to be picked up, or on the bus, or when the bus doesn't pick me up.
Right. Oh yeah, I hated taking the bus.
I got a
school.
phone. I got a phone. The summer after junior year. That's when I got a phone. That's when I bought a phone.
Dang, that was perfect timing for us dating.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been dating you. So
yeah, my dad actually made me. He does not like texting. He made me break up with the girl because I texted her too much.
Oops. Was that before? Like, how much before me was she when you were texting her all the time?
I think
like
it was
months
like freshman or.
I thought you didn't get a phone until junior year, summer.
I think it was on like Mark's phone or like Facebook Messenger that I did it. Or I did have a phone.
Because you did Facebook message me in 7th grade, so there's that. I wonder if I can find the messages.
I would say it was 3 years ago.
Okay. That's fair. But I mean, I don't know if we can really for safety reasons, I would get my child a phone earlier than driving just to be safe, but as far as like having them rely on it like the children do nowadays, I mean, it's a lot harder to do when you're actually a parent versus when you're not a parent. So like we obviously can't say that what we're going to do right now because we don't know exactly, and we haven't met our children yet. And we don't know what it's going to be like in the future. So everything is completely out of our hands.
Oh, my kids are going to hate me.
Am I going to have to be the good cop all the time?
Yeah, you are.
Babe, that's
You're
exhausting.
welcome.
We have to be a team.
Anyway, that kind of related to having the toys and stuff.
Well, I mean, that does relate because
right? Because when you grew up, you got like the iPad, laptop, TV in your room.
I didn't get TV in my room until my parents divorced when I was like, Actually, wait, when did they
Hindsight, that's what we were switching on to.
Oh, okay.
So I think what helped with not getting all that stuff is when my dad would come home, it would just be this like fun event, and the family's together and whatever it was. I don't know. It just felt like I felt like my family was closer in a way, just because we were poor. Mm-hmm. And anyone who has like not necessarily a big family, but a close family, and when you're poor, you're a lot more closer.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like you're more giving. When you get money and stuff, right? Because like in our case, we're not like poor anymore. Like my whole family in general, I mean. Mm-hmm. But like I have a good friend, and his family is like super close. They get, I don't know about now, and I would guess that they still meet up. But every Sunday they would meet up, and they would have food and get lit, not on alcohol, but just they would have fun. Like every Sunday, it would just be like a huge family event, and like the uncles and cousins are like stupid close, no matter what the age is. They would always go hang out, play volleyball, longboard, And I think that came out because when they came to America, they were like kind of living in one house.
Yeah.
Not every single one of them, but you know.
Yeah.
And same thing with us. When we came to the United States, it was like 4 or 3 different families living in an apartment.
Whoa, really?
I was like a baby at the time. Yeah.
That's insane. That's literally insane. I can't even imagine that.
And I feel like that's like a common thread. Like when you become poor, you kind of appreciate the outside things more because you're not getting all these toys to take your attention.
That's what I was about to say, is that for me, toys were a way that I focused on toys over like family, because my family life was really rough growing up. So like the dynamics and just like my parents not getting along made it difficult for me to want to interact or be around them at all. I mean, as far as I can remember being small, you know, but all I remember too is like most of our time.
You mean young?
Yeah. Whatever.
When I was the size of a pebble.
No, I mean, like, all I remember from a lot of my childhood is we watched a lot of TV as a family, was like our thing. And then, but not even not even as a family. Like, it'd be like me and my sister watching a movie, or me and my mom and my sister, or me and my dad, or me and, you know, like it was never like the 4 of us together. And then the same with like toys. Me and my sister were always like consumed doing something else. Like we had our attention on all of our toys.
You're always like, taking the Cadillac to the 7-Eleven to buy like Swishers and
yes,
smoke away the pain.
You've given me up. I don't know what else to say.
Red-handed.
Red-handed. No, but I also had a lot of babysitters, so we hung out with them a lot too. And I loved my babysitters. They were super fun.
Right.
But it wasn't like we are very like that is very opposite. I think that's the biggest opposite we have is the way we grew up. Our
whole lives is opposite. It's really weird.
It's really weird the way, like, because like
we attracted.
Yes,
you know, we should change our podcast name to Opposites Attract.
Oh, you know, I think that's a great idea.
It's like it's already happened or something. So that was a dumb comment.
But no, I don't know. For future, like, I know that I want my children to feel like they're comfortable enough to have to go without toys. You know, like they don't have to be enthralled in a toy or the latest movie to feel comfortable in their life. You know, with us in our future, I want us to make it like family oriented, and I love that your family is huge, so that is always going to be around. And the same with like, even though my family's small, like they'll always be incorporated in it too. And so like I think that really made it good for you as far as like getting through the hard times, is having that huge support. Because like even though I was living it up in my Cadillac or in my Barbie Jeep with my toys and Hot Wheels, it was still hard to do that. And it's not like not the end of the world. But
my imagination was it was very evidential when I would go hang out with my family. We would have a birthday party, right? All of my dad's 10 brothers and sisters would gather up, including our family. And my cousin that we had the same age, we would just be spies. We would just be these agents. And we'd go around the neighborhood ringing those doorbells to make sure they're not explosive. You know? I don't know what, that's not true. We just ring doorbells.
Dog ditching.
Yeah, we were menaces.
That was so fun.
Yeah, and we would jump off roofs and like climb under stuff, and like, dude, we're gonna be in the fucking Marines, man. We're gonna kill Osama. We're gonna do it. Like 11. You know, that's just who I was. I was just very imaginative because, you know, you're a kid and you're poor. The first thing you imagine is like open up your bank account and you're cashed out, right? You know, you imagine you just drop everything and you have everything. Just wherever you go, you can do anything you want and have anything you want. And that's like, I think that's where my imagination came from, because I would just sit and just be like, oh, I hate my life, and like imagine what I would want, and then I kind of just started, you know, I'm having fun with it. How about me, instead of me complaining, let me just imagine something fun, and that was a very often thing that I did. Yeah,
and I think, I don't know if you agree, but I think that what we would want to do for like our kids eventually is have it like kind of a mixture of both. Like give them things, but like also not overdo it, and also make sure that they are able to have that imagination and they're not just, and obviously we want the family life to be good and calm and peaceful.
Yeah, I think my perfect family situation would be if the kids are going to be playing computer, Xbox, or watching TV, it's going to be with me or with you. Mm-hmm. Mostly Xbox with me, but like if we're watching a movie, it's with the family.
Yeah.
It's not like this, like they can do that when they're older, but when they're kids, the development of their brain is not, it's not good, I think, for the development of the brain, for a kid to be on YouTube for 16 hours.
I agree.
And that's why we have sports, you know. That's why they have clubs. Like I want my kids to go play volleyball or soccer or baseball.
Be involved in something besides just video games after school, you know, or like every parent wants that for their kid. But we'll get there when we get there, you know.
Yeah, we're the perfect parents because we know everything. So screw all you other parents because we are superior.
He said it, not me. So
just kidding, you guys.
We obviously
we
have
say
no
this
experience.
Every episode, like disclaimer, we're idiots.
we
Don't
are just
listen to
20-year-olds.
anything we say.
But if you are listening, we love you. Thank you.
Yes, guys. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. Thank you. We had so many compliments this weekend. It's like, dude, your podcast is like the only thing that I ever. That's not what they said.
Dude, that'd be so cool to hear, though. Be the coolest thing. Anyways.
What? I mean, I prefer like bad
criticism.
Yeah, because I want to know what I'm doing wrong. You know, am I like, you know,
sniffing too loud?
No.
No, like no criticism, but like kind criticism.
Just so
is
we know we
welcome.
can like constructive criticism.
Yes,
so
yes.
like, hey guys, you really have no idea what you're talking about. And James is like ADHD 24/7 on the podcast. So can you calm him? You know.
Fair point.
Guys, I'm hearing you. I am.
But yeah,
done.
We don't know everything. We're going to say this every episode, but thank you for listening, you guys. We hope this conversation brought up your childhood when you had toys and how you want things to be, how you just now fixed it.
Yeah, I wanted to do that the entire
This
episode.
has been 25 minutes in the making. So,
but for those people who made it at the end, we appreciate you guys. We really, really do. Not only this podcast is therapeutic to us, it gives me a chance to work on my English. And, you know, just to share our experiences to anyone who wants to listen to them.
And as well as each other. Yeah, if you're 9 years old or you're 50. Like, I have really good conversations with my neighbor, and you obviously are there. Mm-hmm. And he just finds it so refreshing. So if you're older and listening to this podcast because you want to hear what the younger folks are saying, we are your people. We are your people. Check us out.
You know.
But
we won't smoke cigarettes on the podcast if you're... I don't know why I said that.
Don't worry.
I'm just saying there's a line.
Okay, thanks, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you. If you like the episode, give it a subscribe button, and then just hit the like button and comment down for the... Good night.
Good morning.